Hello everyone, welcome back to the show. Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. Joe here once again in sunny Spain. Beautiful day once again, and we've had the monthly close in the crypto markets. That was all the action last night. Was fairly uneventful, I think it has to be said, and here we are, we've come into another weekend. Now, do I think price action is going to move dramatically over the weekend? I don't, but that said, Sunday could be interesting going into the weekly close. Now, it's kind of where I expected the market to be. I kind of expected the bulls to hold the level that they needed to, above 28,000. If we had that monthly close below 28, and again the weekly is going to be interesting as well. There's a bearish scenario there potentially, but primary expectation at the minute, you guys know I'm still higher time frame bearish, but and those low time frames still expecting, can we get that one final squeeze back to 30, dare I say 32k? That's what we're holding the longs for, folks. As you know on the channel, we're long on Bitcoin, got long running on Litecoin, Matic, Arbitrum. Those longs are still running, gains have been locked in, but still holding a little bit just to see if we can squeeze that little bit more out there, because that would be pretty juicy if we could. Now, Litecoin in particular, that one's looking pretty good at the moment, but let's go for a walk, because as I said, the market might not be moving much, but let's go for a walk. Now, as many in the community, our community that is at Crypto Rosetta, know that I left the military about five months now. God, time is absolutely flying by. To essentially go full-time crypto, and also full-time in property, luxury goods, and other businesses, because, well, I've got to make a salary, I've got to make some money, folks, because I'm not getting paid by the military anymore. But yeah, it's been tough, but I didn't expect it to be easy. But the great thing about it is that it's driven me to become as good a trader as I possibly can, and I'm still learning every day. And I think we've done absolutely fantastic trading so far on the channel. I wouldn't be able to be here in Spain, eating in restaurants, drinking beers, enjoying this sunshine, and working here, working from here, traveling around, traveling to all the other places that you'll see us going on the channel. I wouldn't be able to do that, folks, if it wasn't just for that win ratio that we've got trading at the moment. It'd be in kind of trouble and say, gonna have to pack this in and come up with some other strategy. Maybe I'd have to go get a job somewhere else. So I'm glad that everything's going well, glad that I'm not having to do that. And yeah, I like to think that, without bragging too much, it's been, again, putting that time in the charts and just sitting back thinking, putting hours into education. I know IK mentioned in our last AMA, he was talking about, was doing like ridiculous hours, like 18, 19 hours a day. Well, we've got a lot of noise here. Someone's happy. I think they're staring up a bit of excitement for a football match by looks of things. But yeah, IK was saying about how some days we're putting 18, 19 hours in a day just for the community and into crypto, and we really are, because like I said, got to pay the bills, folks, got to pay the bills with those trades. Now, other trades that I've got open at the minute, because not just long, of course, did take short on Mask. That's going really well. Ideally would have liked to have got more into that trade, but not being greedy, keep the strategy there, keep remaining risk adverse, and not putting too much into it to begin with, just in case it did go higher, and then gives us some capital to play with to add above if needs be. But at the minute, you got to presume that potentially the local top's in on Mask, so staying patient with that one, just going to let it fall. If it doesn't fall, like I said, get more into the trade, and happy days, on we go. But feeling pretty good on Mask. Now, higher risk short, took a short on XRP, not XRP, sorry, SXP. Still long on XRP, come on to that in a minute. No, took a short on SXP, and like I said, I put out to our traders again, if you want to find out about these trading ideas, come join the trading zone. But I did say it was a higher risk short potentially, and it was a bit of a volatile one to begin with. It was always going to be, because when I initially took that trade, folks, I didn't actually know, and this happens a lot, by the way, because you can't know everything that's going on at the time. You can't, be eyes on everything. But I didn't actually know that when I took the trade on Twitter, just make sure I don't get run over there, one sec. Yeah, when I took that trade, I didn't realise that on Twitter there was a large account, a large trading account that, you know, puts trade calls on the Twitter, the usual, you know, the kind of ones that can really, you know, pump and dump candles, was getting, you know, significantly short on SXP at the same time or a little bit earlier, actually at a lower price than where we entered. So I think what that caused was you know, a lot of volume on SXP that wouldn't have normally been there on BYBIT, to cause a lot of volatility, and essentially the exchange is thinking, right, too many people are short on this, we're just gonna, you know, artificially, as they do, because they can just chuck a load in, buy a load, send that candle up. This is what happens all the time, folks. This is how this game works. Because I always say, you know, you got to be careful with these smaller market caps. That's why, you know, I say they're high risk on BYBIT, because you are going to get these scam wicks, you are going to get these, you know, wild pumps against you if you're short in particular, or, you know, equally, if too many people are long, they are going to, you know, dump it. This is just what they do. So that's why I suggested that one was low leverage. That's why I survived that trade at the moment. That's why I haven't stopped out on SXP. And this was all yesterday, of course. And I've woken up this morning and that trade is now in the green. Now, it would be easy to, you know, take some profits on that one as well, but again, I like to not, you know, jump around trades and, you know, keep those initial ideas. So where I've got my initial take profit, yes, that one's looking a little bit ambitious at the minute, but it's okay because I only took a small position on SXP, so I'm happy to just see if that one plays out and see if it breaks down now. Now, it might take days, it might take over a week. I don't know how long it's ever going to take. When you get into these trades, folks, you know, a lot of the time, you can have ideas on the candles, but I'm not no 1 minute scalper, no 1 hour scalper. You know, when I'm taking these, you know, I'm looking for good swings here, folks. And when you're looking for those swings, you really don't know if it's gonna, you know, like I said, take an hour or two to develop, or take over a week potentially. So this is what can play out of SXP. So I'm okay with it at the minute. Like I said, risk management's in play. If you stop out, you stop out, and we go again. Now, XRP, interesting, because that has probably been the best trade of the year for us. Well, I say for us, for me personally, obviously I'm just speaking for myself personally, I can't, you know, speak for anyone else's balances or accounts, but yeah, I made some really good money long on XRP. And again, I said to everyone, I was locking in gains up all the way on that one, you know, locking in the gains in the late 40 cents region, 50, 52, all the way up. Now, when it goes to, I think, the high was around 58 cents so far. It's so easy in hindsight to say, oh, you could have just not taken any profits and just held, and oh, then that's when you should have exited. But who's doing that? Come on, let's be real about it. So I don't mind that, you know, some gains were lost, because lots of gains were made on the way up. But that said, I've still not completely closed that trade. The stop loss has been moved up, but I've not completely closed that trade, just in case, you know, something crazy does play out. And, you know, because I don't know for a fact, folks, if, you know, this could still go to, you know, 60 cent plus. Now, that said, is that my expectation? To be honest, it's probably not. I think a lot of this rumor, again, I've been staying away from the noise, folks. I haven't got time to follow all the news, but I'm just, any time I'm putting in at the minute, I'm, you know, looking at the charts mostly. Now, the charts are saying to me that was a, you know, potential good place for a turnaround. That led in the run up to yesterday, where, you know, apparently there's yet again another rumor that this lawsuit might end. And the fact that I haven't seen anything all over Twitter, or I haven't seen anything going on in our Discord about it, is making me presume that yet again that hasn't happened for XRP. So is the price gonna, you know, potentially pull back on this Saturday? And we are actually starting to see some red candles on XRP now. I think that's, you know, a high probability. Yet again, it's disappointment of, oh, I thought the lawsuit was going to end and it didn't. So yet again, I hope nobody late longed into that again. Like I said, nothing has changed for me. Still expecting lower lows, and XRP is no different. I'm still expecting lower lows across the board on the majority of altcoins. So what's the plan going forward? again folks, just staying patient, waiting to see if we get to that 30 to 32k Bitcoin. This is just what I'm doing. This is not financial advice. You got to make your own decisions, as I always say. But I'm waiting to see if those targets are met, and then I'll be looking to get short. And I'll be looking to get short solely for one reason, and one reason always, because that is the next major level of resistance. That does not mean though that where we are at now is not still a level of resistance. That is why you've seen that reaction when we got to that 29k candle. There's a lot of like very close together, there's a lot of confluence, a lot of close together resistance levels there. Anywhere between that 29 to 32k, I expect it to roll over. If we were to push, significantly through 32, I don't see why we wouldn't just go straight up to 36, folks. I've got to be honest with you. I don't think I see as much resistance there. I kind of see that the resistance in that 29 to 32, as I've said. Now, if someone was to be potentially building a short position, low leverage, now because they wanted to, get in, because they were scared of, potentially missing a drop that may come. Now, first of all, I said scared there. You shouldn't ever be scared of missing anything when it comes to trading, in my opinion. But if they wanted to get in, they weren't sure how high it's going to go, but they're so confident that there is going to be lower lows, or they're so confident there is going to be at least a major pullback soon, then again, not financial advice, but I wouldn't criticize anyone if they were doing so. Again, as long as you don't overstretch yourself. Again, as long as you've got clear invalidation levels. If you're willing to start building that short now, and then your stop loss is going to be 33 plus whatever, as long as it makes sense to you, as long as you don't keep throwing more margin in hope that a trade is eventually going to turn around, and you just start revenge trading it, because you just don't do that, folks. That's how you get wrecked. Again, we teach that in our trading zone. I like to remind people of this all the time. That's not how to trade. You've got to have those stop losses in. You've got to have those invalidation levels, especially going short, because as I always say, it's so obvious, but a lot of people forget about it all the time, or they just don't have it in their minds. They just want a short. But again, the tighter stop loss is more important going short than long, because there's only so far it can go down, whereas if you're going long, the upside is infinite, folks. So again, I'm not saying things are going to go infinite to the moon when you're going long, but it's something you have to take into account at all times. So yeah, I wouldn't be criticizing if someone was doing that right now. I have not started doing that now, folks, just to be clear. I'm still long Bitcoin. I'm still waiting to see if we get to a high level or not. If we don't, I'm going to stop out in that long, assess where we're at, probably wait for some kind of a bounce, or not. I may not even wait for that bounce, folks. But again, in our trading zone, I'll be updating our members of what positions I'm taking. But I do think that a potential great big short is coming up here, and things could get ugly. I'm going to call it bear market phase 2. That's just my term. Okay, that's what I'm referring it to. The next major leg down. And the reason why, because a lot of people are asking me, Joe, how can you be sure of this? Well, first of all, I can't. I don't know it's going to happen, folks. I don't know for definite. Anyone who's telling you if they know what definitely is going to happen, they don't. Okay, talking absolute rubbish. But have to have conviction in what I'm doing. I have to continue to have conviction in what I'm doing, and the trading that I've been doing the last few months, like I said, folks, that is paying for me to be here right now. That's a fact. Okay, so continue doing what I'm doing, stick to the plan, keep reading the charts, don't change my opinion. Okay, I said nothing has changed in them charts for me. I'm just seeing it as a major rally, and I'm still bullish on that DXY. That's one point. S&P looks like it's at major resistance, rolling over again. That's the second point. Exactly the same with the Dow Jones. The Nasdaq, to me, the Nasdaq was at the top. The Nasdaq was so overpriced in my opinion, folks. It just looked like a bubble ready to pop. Okay, I can't remember the exact price off the top of my head that Nasdaq was at the top. think it was around about 16k or something. Crazily overinflated, where you see where it came from in the space of sort of 3-4 years. Again, folks, a lot of people have just been in these markets for a short time, and that's not a problem. It's okay to be in markets for a short time. Again, I always say you can't put a price on experience. Yes, that is very true with a lot of things in life. But that said, again, IK mentioned it in our AMA. He's been in, diamonds for many, many, many years. But he will say if there's someone who's been in the business for 1 year and knows something more than he does, he won't just, look to bat him off. He'll have respect for him. So again, if you've just been in markets 1 year, but you know what you're talking about, I'll have respect for you. But what I will say is if you've only been in these markets for a short time and you're still looking to learn all the time, this is why it's so important to zoom out and look to the left. And when I say look to the left, I'm not just saying look to the left, look towards 2020 or 2019 or 2018. I'm talking go back 30-40 years in the charts, folks. Okay, when I'm looking at that DXY, for instance, the setup, I'm a big fan of chart patterns. Okay, the setup on that DXY to me looks very similar to what happened in the 1980s. Okay, and we could get another major pump there. So again, my primary target is 120 to 122, and it's not invalidated yet. But that said, I still feel we're in a cash is king environment, and if it gets really bad, folks, then it could, certainly break up much, much, much higher, and that is going to be, really bad for crypto. And is that going to, link into what we're seeing in the US? What we're seeing, this could be a crypto crackdown period. So people who are telling you that Bitcoin's going to the moon, that regular people are taking all their money out of banks and buying Bitcoin, I'll say to you, how many of your family members, friends, everyone you know is taking their money out of banks right now and buying Bitcoin? Okay, if it's a high percentage, if you can honestly say that's a lot of people in your circle that are doing that, then I'll believe you. Okay, I believe you that you've got your conviction that that is exactly what is happening and Bitcoin is going to the moon and that this next bull run has begun. Then that's your plan. And if you are super bullish right now, or you actually don't even have to be super bullish, if you're just bullish, if you just believe the bottom is in and Bitcoin and crypto are even just grinding their way up, then leave us a comment below, because really do appreciate all your comments. It's really interesting, to talk to anyone else out there, get their opinions, and engage. That's what our Discord's for. Again, free to join. Another fantastic reason, now this is a really, really fantastic reason why you should come and join our Discord for free, folks, link in the description below, is because you've got a chance of winning USDT for free. That's not bullshit, folks. That's absolutely true. You can win USDT for free in our Discord, and it is free to enter. There's no catch. It's open to anyone in the Discord who's just a free member in the community. We have Fantasy Crypto. Again, come and find out about Fantasy Crypto. It resets this Sunday, so you need to enter before the weekly close, before midnight UTC Sunday. You need to come enter, and then you've got another opportunity to win free USDT. First place wins 75, second place will win 25. It'll run for another 4 weeks, and then we will reset it again. We're just coming to the end of our first 4 weeks, so we're going to have our first winner come the end of this week. And the reason why we're resetting the league is essentially so more people can come and join in. Obviously, there's just we've got about 10 or so, maybe a little bit more members currently taking part in that. The idea is we want to build it up. IK again mentioned this to our members in our AMA. We want to build it up, and then the more people that take part as well, ideally we'll start increasing that prize as well. So it's 100 USDT to be shared between the top two at the minute. First gets 75, second wins 25. Come and join for free. Like I said, come into the Discord, come and enter before midnight tomorrow. Right, folks, I'm going to leave this one with you there. hopefully all those trades will go our way, but it doesn't matter, because if they don't, we're using good risk management. That's always the important thing, and gains have been locked in. And like I said, I've not locked in on Mask or SXP, the shorts, yet, but if depending on what your risk appetite is, depending on, because you're going to be potentially, if you've taken that trade, we all use different amounts, different leverages, different margins, especially different margin being the key point there, that you may want to lock in gains on that. So you make that decision. Hope everyone has a great weekend, and I'll see you again.